All right, hello everyone. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. You know what? You can introduce yourself. That's great. You got the timing. You nailed it.
All right.
Welcome, everyone. I'll leave you to it.
All right, hello everyone. My name is IzzyHope58, and I will be running Toy Story Trilogy. I am so excited to kick off License-a-thon 2025. I have two commentators with me if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Spaghetti, and I'm going to be commentating for the duration of the trilogy runs. I also run Toy Story, just Toy Story 2 at the moment. But yeah, I'm super excited to watch Izzy kill this. It's going to be really fun.
And I'm Sam. I also will be here for the whole run. I also mainly run Toy 2, but I've seen Izzy run all three games of the trilogy many times. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, with all of that, I believe we are ready to start. We will start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Toy Story 1. This was released on the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, PC, and Game Boy, and we are playing the Super Nintendo version. And this game was developed by Traveler's Tales, who is now known for the LEGO games, but made quite a few licensed games back in the day.
I believe Traveler's Tales also does Toy Story 2, the next game, Toy Story Racer as well, and also the game I'll be running late. The game I'll be running later today, Muppet Race Mania.
Yeah, so you'll see lots of Traveler's Tales in this marathon. So that was the first level. It's pretty simple. This next level, Andy and his friends are coming upstairs, and we have to hide all the toys away. Thankfully, they take 180 seconds to run upstairs. They're very slow runners, so we have plenty of time to get all the toys in the toy box. And then also this whole level...
It's like they have to go one step every 15 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. So this whole level is kind of on a timer. So on the right side, Rocky and the RC car have to get under the bed. So as long as we get over to that side by 1:32, I believe, we'll be fine. So the level will always end at that moment.
Yeah, so you can get to the bed earlier, but you still have to wait for the timer.
Yep, so just waiting around here. Alright, there we go. Now we are on to Ego Check. This is the first difficult level of the game. This game is notoriously hard. If you were a kid and beat this game, mad respects, because I don't know how you did it. I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I beat this game.
I think the furthest I ever got as a kid was Sid's house, when you're having to jump across, and then you eventually get to like the bad toys, and you have to karate chop them with Buzz.
That's still very impressive. Like, that's still quite far into the game.
And now as an adult, I went back and was able to beat it, but it took a long time.
So here we are purposely going to be doing some damage boosts. A big part of Toy 1 is managing health. There's a little golden star there that I collected to regain some health. So a big part of this game is going to be managing health and damage boosting and regaining health where we can.
So how many little gold stars do you need to collect to refill your health?
So every gold star gives you 1 extra health, so there's not too many in the game. They're just kind of scattered throughout the run.
Oh, not the little stars, right?
Oh, no, not the little stars. Yeah, those stars that you collect, there are 50 in each level, and they do some other weird things that I'll explain later, but there's also some special stars that will just regain your health instantly. So,
Gotcha.
Do you all remember this part of the movie where Woody has a nightmare about a giant evil Buzz? Is that just me?
You don't want to be in the way when my laser goes off.
Wasn't this a deleted scene in the movie or something like that?
Oh, was it actually?
I believe so.
No.
Yes.
Here it comes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did. I was just riffing. I didn't know that.
Here it comes.
Maybe you had a prototype copy of the movie, Izzy.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
the
I
only one that
did.
remembers. Every copy of Toy Story 1 is personalized.
Oh god, not that again. Alright, so that's a pretty simple boss fight. Next level we have is an RC level. It's pretty simple, but can be quite annoying, so there's not much to talk about, so if there's anything you'd like to say during this level, now would be a good time.
There isn't anything important to say during this level.
You know what? You just threw it over to me and I wasn't paying attention. That's on
I
me.
believe
We do
yeah.
have one donation, which is Purple Lightsaber Heart from T-Sky, donating $25. Thank you very much for the donation. That's all I have. Go ahead.
This level was pretty hard. I remember this one being pretty difficult too.
That's where we find out that Andy has a huge desk.
Yeah,
Yes.
look at
Yeah,
this. I wish I had a desk this big. I could do so
Yeah,
many
'cause-
things.
RC is pretty big, so you can only imagine.
Yeah. As you can see, it's quite easy to like knock into things and kind of get spinned around. I also have to make sure I hit Buzz every time and collect the battery. So, getting knocked around a little bit here. I'm also slowing down a little bit on each turn just to make it a little bit easier for myself. But we are nearing the end here. One final hit, and Buzz is out the window. All right. This next level is probably my favorite level of Toy 1. Just the amount of platforming and jumping just looks very slick and smooth when you do it correctly. Also going to be regaining a lot of our health back here. So all the toys are mad at us here, except for Rex. Rex is the only one who believes us.
Is that lore accurate? I don't remember.
I think it's lore accurate.
I think it's like Slinky believes him as well
Oh, that's right.
in the film. Rex is kind of like on the fence.
Yeah. I don't like confrontations.
It's weird that some levels have timers and some don't.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. So this next level is the first auto-scroller, but it's not free in the slightest. These type of levels is where the game gets really tough. Fun fact, for these levels, I literally wrote down every single thing that comes onto screen and then memorized that whole list. So I know exactly what's coming for these levels.
I was gonna say, like, these auto-scroller levels, like, are probably the hardest levels in the game, if anything.
Yeah. Because you have so little space, and, like, anything you touch will take away some health, and you only have 5 health maximum in this game.
Yeah, your reaction time's gotta be pretty crazy, because they, like you said, there's no room. As soon as you see
Yeah.
it on screen, it's like...
There's a later auto-scroller where even though I have everything memorized, there's some jumps that are so tight that it's not guaranteed for me to not take damage there, so... But this one is a bit more lenient on most of the jumps. I'm also purposely collecting all of the stars in this level. So the way that stars work in this game, if you get 50 stars in a level, that will give you an extra life. And if you get 49 stars, that'll actually refill your health to full. Then 48 will give you 1 less health, and 47 will give you 1 less health. So in that level, I collected all the stars, which was 48. Here I'm going to be doing trying to do a quick cycle buzz here.
And beyond.
Watch out!
So if you time
Here
your whip just right there, you can actually get the tire on and skip a cycle of Buzz kind of spinning around there.
Watch out. Ow. Watch out.
That didn't hit.
To infinity.
I love the
and
voice
beyond.
lines in this game.
Ow.
Oh dear.
Ow.
No. Okay, that's fine. I'll have a chance to try the proper cycle again.
Watch out. Oh. To infinity and beyond. Ow. Ow.
This level can be really hard if you don't get the hit the first time.
Watch out. Oh. To infinity and beyond. Ow. Oh. To infinity and beyond.
Those can be a little troll sometimes. Okay. Alright, there's the final hit. It was not the best buzz fight, but we got through it.
Take it.
Okay, so this next level has 50 stars in it. We are actually going to be purposely not collecting 1 star, so we'll only get 49 stars. So instead of giving us an extra life, that will actually refill our health all the way to full. Usually we'd have like 4 or 5 health in this level, so we could do some damage boosts, but we only have 2, so I'm actually going to be playing it a little bit safe. That means in the next level we'll have full health and we'll be able to do more damage boosts in the next level. So we're on Pizza Planet now.
We're in Pizza Planet, but yet there is no pizza in this level.
There's no pizza. It's all hot dogs and hamburgers and fries and stuff. Like, where's the pizza? I always loved the idea of Pizza Planet, though.
I don't recall ever seeing any pizza in any of the Toy Story films, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
Or in any
Maybe-
Pixar film in general.
There's probably
Ratatouille
off the top
doesn't
of my
have pizza?
Sorry?
I feel like, did Ratatouille have pizza?
It's set in France. It's set in France.
I know.
There is pizza. There's pizza in Seoul. There is pizza in Seoul.
There is pizza in Seoul. Okay, I gotta be extra careful because I accidentally took damage there.
Inside Out has pizza.
Inside Out does have pizza with broccoli on it.
Yeah, the broccoli.
Congratulations, San Francisco.
You've ruined pizza. Speaking of which, I will be running Disney Infinity Inside Out later on in the marathon, I believe tomorrow, so be sure to stay tuned for that. It's a very fun run.
Excuse me.
So I actually died, so I have to restart this whole level, but that's okay. Now I actually have full health, so I'll be able to do a handful of damage boosts.
Works out.
If you don't mind, we have a donation.
Absolutely, go for it.
T-Sky donates $10 and says, "No pizza at Pizza Planet? A travesty.
What's the point?
It's the one place you would expect the pizza to be."
Hmm.
Maybe it's so good they always sell out.
That seems plausible.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, fine, I'll get the burgers, but like... It's like you gotta
I'm
be
doing a deep
there
dive.
early to get the pizza.
Yeah.
If you're going to Pizza Planet to buy burgers, I have some real questions about your priorities. There's no way
I'm
those
doing
burgers are any
a,
good.
I'm doing a deep dive on pizza and Pixar films, and apparently Monsters University also has pizza when they're having a party.
Okay, yeah, I can see
I
that.
see.
I think that's it. Though.
Alright. We are now at the end of the level, and we are going inside of the claw machine now. This level is quite fun.
Actually, 3 claw machine levels. The next one's very difficult.
Oh yeah, it's so difficult. There's a really hard skip that we're gonna have to do in the next level. So hopefully I'll get it. And then there's another hard skip in the next level, so yeah. So in this level, once again, we are going to be getting all the way down to 1 health, but then regaining our health in the next level because we get all but one of the stars. And okay, I'm already at 2 health. I'm not supposed to be at 2 health here. But we'll be okay. We'll be able to figure something out. Also crashing in the corner here to avoid getting damage and also prevent some lag from happening. Oh. Actually gonna grab a checkpoint here just in case.
I didn't know this game had lag reduction strats.
It's pretty much just that one.
Oh.
Actually, not in a good space health-wise, so I'm just gonna... Alright, we'll try this again. Purposely take damage on that blade there.
This is actually what claw machines look like on the inside, by the way.
Yeah, this is lore accurate to claw machines. They did research for this game.
What do these little spinning gear platforms do for a claw machine?
Magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next level has a very hard skip. We'll see if I can get it.
Hold.
Alright.
Hold.
Nice, got it. All right,
Did
we're
it.
joking. That level, you literally press start and select, and you get the skip. This skip, however, is actually difficult, so I will focus, and then we'll explain it.
Still don't
Yeah.
really know what's supposed to be, what that level's supposed to be.
Very nice. Okay,
It's like
so
it's like a Doom clone.
yeah, so the level that we skipped easily, that was a Doom clone level. The level I just did, basically that's a claw boss fight, and you're supposed to get 5 aliens on screen at once, or the way the skip works is if you get 5 aliens on screen at once, the game will freak out and will just be like, I don't know what to do, and then just finish the level for you. So that's how we skipped those 2 levels. The first one was just free. Now we are on to the infamous Sid's house, where we have the Tink Tinks happening.
Clink, 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 clink.
Also, this game came out on the Genesis and Super Nintendo, and they are a little bit different, but this is the Super Nintendo version, right?
Yes, this is the Super Nintendo version. Both of those skips don't work on the Sega Genesis version, and also the Sega Genesis version has an extra level in it.
No?
It's like an extra
That I did
RC
not know.
level, right?
Yeah, it's an extra RC level that's like kind of more 3D.
hmm Like more of a racer, like a racing type
Yeah.
level. I didn't know that the skips didn't work. I knew about the extra level. Hot, 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 hot.
Ow, ow,
Ow,
ow.
ow, 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 hot, hot, hot.
Hot, 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 hot.
Oh my god, he's Lester the Unlikely.
Who?
I feel old now. Hey, he's Wario. He's Wario Land 4.
Okay, there you go.
Ow, 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 ow.
Hot, 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 hot. I like the scene in the movie where he dunks his head in the cereal and then he has like the Cheerio, or no, what is it? The Fruit Loop on his head?
On
Yeah.
his eyes.
Yeah, or on his eyes, yeah. I like that.
Sure hope this isn't permanent. As it turns out, it wasn't.
Yeah, right? Actually,
Yeah, because it disappears in the next scene.
the next scene didn't even last.
All right, we got another Sid level. This one could be quite challenging for me, so hopefully it goes okay. Some of the damage I can take in this level is kind of RNG from these soda cans that spit out stuff. Or those cans as well. So doing some pull string things. Those are a lot harder than they seem. It can actually be pretty difficult to... Did I not get the checkpoint? Just
Good thing you noticed that.
Yeah.
So do you have to worry about collecting the stars anymore? Or was
At
that
this
just for the
point,
earlier level?
I don't have to. It was just for refilling health in previous levels.
Okay. But the 1-ups, I'm assuming you're gonna grab at least one more somewhere.
Is there a place I can... I'm not actually sure if there's another place I can get an extra life, so...
I was just curious because I saw you're at 0 and I'm like,
Take that.
I should be fine. I think I'll be
Why?
fine.
Watch out. Take that.
Okay, maybe...
Watch out. Watch out. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Watch out. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Watch out. Take that. Watch out.
Okay, we're gonna pretend I got to the end of the level there, and I'm just gonna... We're gonna go to the next level! Don't worry about that. This is Roller Bob. This level
that
is
was
very hard.
The hardest level ever.
Yeah.
And then it only gets harder from here.
So, this is another auto-scroller level where it is very hard to avoid everything, even if you know exactly what's coming. Already took a couple damage there. So there's rockets and soda cans. Sid's just throwing everything at us, including his dog Scud.
Good. And apparently a bomb, whatever that was.
Yep, and he has bombs, because apparently they're allowed to sell bombs to children. Who knew? Just like a billion bombs here that we have to avoid.
This is
Well,
probably
there's
the
still
hardest
rope
level.
and lamp oil, so
This is absolutely the hardest level,
True.
casually. And in the speedrun, it's one of the most challenging levels.
So this is a level where you also collect the little stars, or not really?
Not really, you can try to, but I'm mostly focusing on not taking damage, so I don't really have enough mental
dying.
energy to try to collect all the stars. Alright, we
Fair
only
enough.
have 2 more levels left. We have another RC level. Thankfully, this one is not as difficult as the first one. It's pretty much just go straight to the finish. Whoops. Gonna skip that first battery, and then get that second battery. And then... pretty much just going straight to the end now. I was supposed to grab that battery.
oopsie.
We'll try that again. This is not the best Toy 1, but this game is infamously hard, so you can
Yeah.
kind of see a little bit of what speedrunners have to deal with.
I'm kind of glad that like the hardest one is the first one, because
Yeah.
when you're doing runs, you could just like reset, and you don't have to worry about doing the other games all over again.
Oh god, the amount of resets that happen in Toy 1 is unbearable. And like it makes me want to reset less in Toy 2 if something goes wrong in
Yeah.
Toy 2.
Because you just don't want to go back to this game.
Exactly. You don't want to play this game. This game is just an obligation. So this is the final level of Toy 1, so we are almost on to Toy 2. This is another auto-scroller. This is Rocket Man, so we just have to avoid all
Here
the
it comes.
cars. And we have
To
full health
infinity
here, so
and beyond.
we'll be plenty fine.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Watch out.
Watch out. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here it
Watch
comes.
out!
Here it comes.
I don't remember Buzz having this much control in the air when they were flying.
Here it comes.
Yeah,
Or,
it's
sorry, falling with style.
This isn't flying. This is falling and rising with style.
falling and rising.
Here it comes.
All right, and we're home free. There is a little gap in this big truck here that you
Here
can
it
dive
comes.
in.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Ow.
Ow! There's no reason to do that. That's just for swag if you have enough health
Here
to
it
do it.
comes.
Oh no,
Is
they're
it
about to get
possible to,
run
like-
over.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
Is it
what?
possible to like go too low right here and hit the ground and die?
No, you can't
Or
go
it
too
won't let
low.
you? Okay.
So I was like
always
holding
wondered
down
that.
there and... Alright.
Here it comes.
And we get into the van, and we are now on to Toy Story 2. So, this game was also developed by Traveler's Tales, and it's kind of a collectathon 3D platformer. And there are 5 Pizza Planet tokens we have to get in every level. There's 50 total in the game, and we'll be getting 40 since this is any percent.
Yeah, this game I know a lot more about.
Me too.
Yeah, so yeah, like you mentioned, this is the PC version, so 40 token. The PC version, the PlayStation 1, and Dreamcast all require a minimum of 40 tokens to beat the game. And for whatever reason, the N64 version only requires a minimum of 30 tokens out of the 50 total.
We
to
don't
beat
know
the game.
why. That's just how they did it. So this is the mini boss. Every level has a mini boss that you have to defeat. We're going to be using our charged laser attack here to defeat it. And then we're also going to position ourselves underneath where the token is going to spawn in order to skip the token spawning animation. So gonna the final hit here, jump in a token, and collect it right away.
The best theory I've heard for N64 difference is that the N64 version was more going to be intended for children, so they wanted it to be easier.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like
my running
Prod-
theory too.
Yeah.
But who knows?
The baby version.
So we also did an extended double jump there. We also did some circle jumps to climb up poles faster. So here's another extended double jump to get on top of this fan. So just some movement tech we're using all throughout the run. So this is the race token here. Oh,
Oops. So you think the N64 version is bad? You should play the PlayStation 1 version. Whoo!
Yeah, I didn't care much for that one either. We did like
Yeah.
a blind run for it. Everyone ran the PS1 version, and I was like, this is cool. I'm probably never coming back to this.
so
Best
this
this
part,
is
is
about
also-
the best part about the PS1 version is when you get to Zurg and Buzz just screams, "It's Zurg!"
Yeah, it has more voice lines for some reason.
Oh, yeah, it's the race token, which has a pretty easy skip, which I think Izzy was about to explain.
Yep, you can just skip every lap by just going around a tiny section of the van. Every level also has like a platforming or just like general challenge, like a puzzle token. This one we're supposed to push a bunch of boxes, but we can skip it with a nifty little box jump. Nice, third time's
It's a
the
little
charm.
bit.
It's a little bit
It's a little
tricky.
bit finicky.
Yeah.
We're also going to try to jump off of the snail to avoid a ledge grab there. Big part of this run is kind of trying to avoid ledge grabs.
Also, the way that race skip works back there is because there are no checkpoints around the track like most racing games would have. So you essentially are skipping the trigger for the finish line, so that the game thinks you've gone all the way around, but you actually haven't.
Wow, I missed that jump.
There's actually a few Traveler's Tales racing games that don't have a check either. Both Toy Story Racer and Muppets both don't have that check.
That's funny.
Here we're going to be doing a spoon jump, trying to jump off a bit of weird collision.
Yeah, that's something
what's
that you
called
guys will see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called a shadow box, and that's going to be coming up a lot in this run.
Yeah, so you'll notice like most of these skips or like time saves for the speedrun in this game all involve like either doing like jumps off of shadow boxes with the collision or timing your double jump to get that extended double jump that we mentioned earlier. And doing those things will let you skip a lot of platforming, like intended platforming sections.
All right, so we got every token in this level. We got the coin token where we need 50 coins. We got 5 collectibles to turn them into collectible, and then race, boss, and puzzle. This next level, we're going to be getting all the tokens except for the race token. We will be coming back for the race token later because there's a power-up that we can unlock that will make it a lot faster. And hopefully the lawnmower won't be mean to me today.
And another reason we come back later is because this game is timed loadless. So it actually would save a little bit of time. Otherwise, like on N64, you would just do the level all at once. Especially
Yeah, on other
platforms. 100%.
Yeah.
Just do it all at once. The route, as you can imagine, is very different on N64 because only requiring 30 tokens. Some levels are the same. Andy's house is the same. I believe Elevator Hop is the same.
Yeah, Elevator Hop, Andy's house, and Al's Spaceland, because you collect all 5 tokens for those 3.
Yep.
So here we're going to be doing a
subtle
skip.
differences, but yeah.
It's a different route.
So we're supposed to blow up that rubber duck to get the puzzle token here, but we could just swing off here and drop down and grab it. Now we're making our way to the tree, which is the most infamous part of this game.
Good boy.
We're going to be collecting a bunch of coins and collectibles on the way, and we've routed this out perfectly so that I'll have just enough coins by the time we finish the mini-boss, which is on top of the tree. Someone want to start explaining the boss skip that we do at the top here?
So, okay, so what the boss at the top is supposed to spin around, and then I believe when it stops spinning, you're able to shoot it. But that's if you're in the boss area, but you can go slightly outside of the boss area and still be up there. So the boss's invincibility frames will just be gone. So you can just shoot it infinitely till it dies, which is you'll do right here.
Yep, so we're just on the very edge of that bush, and it's just able to spam kill it. There's a way to grab that token during the spawning animation, but you gotta make your jump perfect. And then we have 50 coins as we drop onto Ham. And we're going to be doing a pretty tough extended double jump here to get onto this clothesline. And the camera can be a little bit finicky in this game.
You can also back it up from the swing where you landed.
Yeah.
If you land on the pole there, you can still make the jump. It's a lot harder to like reach the clothesline, but I found that that's also a backup you can do. Yeah, this jump is pretty hard.
There we go.
We don't talk about Woody's curse face in N64.
Yeah, Woody's facing the N64 versions, it's something. I'll tell you that much. Alright, so now we're making our way back to the beginning of the level to turn in our final collectible. You also notice that...
There's a little jump on the clothesline. You can jump off the pretty pink panties, and it saves like half a second. But pretty much only Thermal does that.
Only Thermal does that.
Half a second.
Yeah.
Well, I go for it as well. But I don't run this game as much as Izzy, Spaghetti, Thermal, and a bunch.
Alright, so we're on to our first boss level. Every 3 levels is just a boss fight that you have to defeat, so this airplane, we just gotta do 3 well-timed yellow laser shots. So we'll go into first person to get the second one. And then
the cool thing about this level is that the plane always flies in the same pattern. So you can, if you just remember where he's gonna fly, you can just aim at that spot every single time.
Exactly.
Remember the part of the film where Buzz fought a plane?
Exactly. I remember
Was
that.
that also a deleted scene?
This is definitely the game that's least accurate to the film.
They had to get real creative with this one.
Yeah, we are now in Construction Yard. We're only going to be getting race and puzzle token in this level, and we're not going to be coming back because climbing this building is very difficult, and it's also RNG because of the moving platforms.
And also, you have to climb it twice.
Yeah, you have
because
to climb it
first have
twice.
to climb it to get the potato head part. Because in 5 of the levels, 1 in every 3, Potato Head lost a part of its body. You have to bring it back to him, and he'll give you a power up. And you need that power up to beat the boss at the top. The pneumatic drill we call Kevin. Yeah, the only way to beat that is with the discs. And so, yeah, to do that, you have to go up, collect the part, come back down, give the part to Potato Head, then go back up again.
Very time consuming. That used to be done in any percent, and we finally found a way to route it out, which is very useful.
I did not know that the boss was called Kevin.
So now we're going
I
back
would
to
assume-
preschool and
Yeah.
doing colors. All right, what's your favorite color, everyone? In chat.
Light green. Gonna make me go type in chat.
And also,
Mine
this is where we...
It's
Sorry,
light
you-
blue.
Light
And this
blue.
is where we first hear fantastic pushing sounds from Buzz. On the N64 version, when on the load save screen, when you're switching between profiles, but you also hear this sound for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
The menu sound, the menu, yeah.
We want to make sure we do purple last because it's the least amount of pushing that we have to do. So we get the puzzle token here. Also, usually when you exit a level, Buzz will go launch up in the air, go to infinity and beyond. That usually loses time, so we usually just pause and exit out. So that's why we've been doing that. We are on to alleys and goalies. Right now we're only going to be getting race token, but we will be coming back once we get grappling hooks. One thing I have been doing throughout the run is I've been using Buzz's spin attack, and that will extend Buzz's hitbox for grabbing certain items. Buzz also has a super spin move, which usually isn't that useful because he has a dizzy animation at the end, but we can actually use that to extend our hitbox while talking to characters. So I'm going to be doing that when talking to Slinky here. Super spin
Doesn't
move.
work for coins.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work
the
for coins.
extend. Yeah, so when spinning to collect these things, but it doesn't work for coins for some reason.
Yeah, doesn't save much on its own, but it all adds up. To
Yeah.
a few seconds. across
Every
the run.
tiny thing adds up. So the super spin move isn't usually useful because at the end there's a dizzy animation, but that dizzy animation will actually allow us to gain movement during cutscenes. So here we're bringing the super spin move into the cutscene, and then we're gonna use that just to start fighting the slime time boss a little bit faster. But in the next level, we're gonna be doing a trick called tech storage, where if we bring the super spin move into a token spawning cutscene, that will actually allow us to delay or prevent the token text box from popping up, and it will stay kind of in storage as long as we keep moving.
And also in the next level, we also will be leaving the level intentionally. But that's part of a trick to get a token, which I
Yeah.
think Spaghetti will be able to explain best, as he's the one who discovered this setup, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the setup for the tech storage, and then with the help of Lance, that was another like big glitch hunter. He was able to find where to use it in the run. So basically, what Izzy's going to be doing here, like she mentioned earlier, is that when you do the spinning animation, Buzz will go into that dizzy animation, and it lets you move during cutscenes, which normally isn't allowed because normally Buzz gets locked during a cutscene. And the game just reacts weirdly when you grab a token during its spawning animation, which we'll see right now. Nice. So normally when you grab a token, that text box appears where it asks you if you want to keep playing or exit the level. And like she showed earlier, when you hit exit level, Buzz does the to infinity and beyond, and he kind of flies into the air. Well, if you do that while you have text storage, instead of standing still, Buzz will actually be able to move. You can control him while he jumps up in the air and does that, essentially giving you a third double jump, or a third jump. Let's see. I'll just let her set it up here.
Did I get it?
I believe you grabbed it.
Oh, I just barely missed it.
Dang.
All right, we'll try
It's
that
also very
one more time.
important-
Yeah,
It's
we
also
can try
very
one more
important
time.
that you keep moving while you have text storage, because if you stop, the text box will just appear.
Yeah, you can't stop moving. At least as long as you're holding a direction on your control stick. If you can still jump, you can do like a single spin attack, just not a charged one because you'll go dizzy and stop moving again. You can laser, or you can ledge grab as well. If you ground pound, it'll stop it because it stops your movement, and obviously if you stop moving, let go of the control stick. Those are the only things. You can hold onto a rope, I found, and you can actually let your stick go to neutral, and it won't cancel your text storage until you jump off the rope and let go.
So we're going to be getting text storage here again. The reason this saves so much time is because usually to grab the puzzle token in this level, you need the power-up from Construction Yard, which we already talked about how much that sucks. So this saves a lot of time, and this is really the only other token that we can get for this route, which is why we have to try it again. So we'll try it a second time here.
Say, what's the backup for not getting this token?
I think the backup was... Well, I know on 30 token, the backup is the race in alleys and gullies. Oh, we didn't get
I
it
didn't
there.
get it.
But you already get this in 40 token, so I actually don't know what the backup is for 40 token.
There really
It
isn't.
might-
So there are alternate routes that you can do that were used like before text storage was found.
Yeah. Which was Al's penthouse, right?
Yeah, Al's penthouse was, but yeah, it's a little bit tricky. This is a bit more of an advanced route. Learning text storage. So we'll try it one more time here.
This wasn't the only level that changed the route with text storage. We'll see it towards the end, but the last level before the final boss fight also has a text storage strat that saves a ton of time too.
Oh yeah, I should also say to licenses on that this music does have a tendency sometimes to get a VOD muted. Although I think, I can't hear it right now, but I think Izzy might have changed the file to have it slightly pitched differently.
I think so. I might. All right, I'm gonna focus on this one more time.
I'm not that worried about it. We once had someone do 3 hours of Just Dance.
There we go. We got
I,
it that
I
time.
can handle it.
Yeah, third
nice.
time's the charm on text
Yeah.
storage. That trick, as you can see, can be quite difficult. You kind of have to, like, even as the level is fading out, you have to keep holding your stick towards the token to try to collect it just at the very end as the level's fading out. So it's a bit tricky to learn, and sometimes it still messes up, but you end up getting it.
And I will give you that the PC version is actually the hardest one to grab that in, because the level loads out faster, so you don't have as much time before you exit the level and it fades to black to grab it. Versus on the N64, it's a little bit easier because it takes a while for it to go to that total screen.
Yeah.
Speaking of PC being harder, claw machine.
Oh, I could have sworn that would have worked. So the shadow on this claw machine is on the PC version. Doesn't really show
anonymous.
you
It's
very
essentially
well how to.
non-existent.
Yeah. It like kind of shows you, but not in a helpful way. So
I think it's actually pretty accurate to like a real life claw machine, because I can never win on these.
I once
You can see the shadow
used a
on the
claw
claw,
machine and
but-
got 3 rubber duckies out of the claw machine. I like pulled a Sid from
ducky.
I pulled a Sid from Toy Story 1 and somehow managed to
You
get
grab 3 things.
Alright.
3 toys. Nice. Yeah, the shadow on the N64 version, at least, is enormous. Like, you can't miss. Or it's less likely that you'll miss.
Alright, we're making our way to the coin token now. Or the race token. I don't know what I'm talking about. These zip
This
lines can
level
be very tricky to grab
Yeah.
sometimes, especially in later levels.
Yeah, and this level doesn't really have any skips. It's super optimized. We grab all 5 tokens on every version, on every category. So this level's just been like super optimized, just like Andy's house.
Even Hey Buzz percent.
That one, I guess you got me there. Every main category.
Yes, there's a category extension. Because, well, Rex is in this game, but all he does is give hints, so he's kind of useless. So there's a category extension, which is to talk to Rex in every level and activate all of the hint cubes as well.
Gonna be fighting the mini
So
boss here. A lot of the mini bosses are pretty easy when you have the green laser. Just hold it down.
Which we didn't mention, but there's a power-up in the game, which is the green laser. There's one in each level, and all it does is give you like super charged shots. Like when you normally charge up your laser, like what we did with the first mini boss in Andy's house, it just gives you those charge shots, but like you don't have to hold it down. You just kind of spam it.
Basically just a turbo button for your laser.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things here. One is that Izzy just jumped off some invisible collision. On different versions, you'd see some Buzz Lightyear boxes there, but on PC they're invisible. But the collision's still there. And also, if you spam laser and spin at the same time, you can spin constantly, which is how Izzy's able to defeat those bigger toys, the shields faster. Like if you just like press spin, Buzz would stop before being able to spin again.
Yeah, like this is me trying to spam the spin button, and as you can see, I don't get a lot of spins, but then I spam both and get spins a lot faster.
It's because the laser animation is just slightly interrupting the animation, so it's able to
like
just
cancels
start
it,
again
yeah.
and again and again. Yeah.
Animation cancel with the laser.
We're on to the next boss, which is Toy Bar Encounter. We are once again going to be using the Dizzy animation to gain movement during cutscenes to fight this boss a lot faster.
Remember this part of the film as well?
Oh yeah.
The best part.
They could like make a movie based on the levels of this game. So we're gonna hit underneath, get dizzy, and then we'll gain movement to be able to fight the enemies in this pod early. For some reason, the movement is reversed, so it's a little bit tricky to control.
Fun fact, this is how I found the tech storage strat, because when I was in this level, I was trying to... I figured out how this works, because you go into the dizzy animation and it lets you move during the cutscene. So then I tried doing it in other cutscenes, and when I destroyed the boss in Andy's house with the spin attack, I was able to move during that cutscene, and that's how I grabbed the token as it was spawning.
I didn't actually realize that's how you found it, but yeah, it's a very similar tactic to tech storage, doing the dizzy animation during cutscenes. That last one, we don't do it just because it does more damage on the pod if you do a full laser shot, for some reason. So now we just
Otherwise
need...
you would have like another phase.
Yeah. So now we just need 2 more fully charged laser shots, and we are now on to Elevator Hop, everyone's favorite level.
As I like to call it, elevator hop.
Elevator Hop, absolutely. So we're actually going to be getting our first power-up here by collecting Mr. Potato Head's shoe, along with this collectible mice. These mice can be so infuriating.
Two in particular.
Two in particular. That one isn't that bad. Now we have the grappling hook.
The cool thing about the PC version is that for whatever reason your grappling hook range goes further than like the other versions, like the console versions. So you can actually hook onto the second grappling point there and skip having to do the first one. So you'll do it there again. You skip the first one and you just go straight to the second one above it. It's pretty nice. Can't do that on console.
That mouse was in a great position there.
Yeah, the
That
little
mouse
mice
could
are
spawn pretty much anywhere on that wall.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like super hard to not talk to Rex there because Rex is like right there.
Here's what you should do.
Need a hint?
Buzz.
Here I'm going to
Yeah,
be
the
trying to
little mice-
fight against the fans when
Yeah.
doing these grapples. It can be a little bit tricky, especially on the PC version.
Yeah, for whatever reason, on the PC version, the strength of the fan, like the wind mechanic, is really strong. So there's like another level later on that also has that wind mechanic, and it pushes you like extremely hard.
Only on the
compared to, like,
PC
console
version because of 60 FPS.
Alright, this mouse.
Yeah, he's a little bugger.
Mouse
Oh.
quiz.
Hey, third try. Alright.
Nice.
This wall mouse is the worst. And
Yeah,
loses a lot
this
of time
one's
if we
the
don't get
worst.
it. No!
I
Just
hate
barely.
that he like jukes you. He does like a little spin.
He does
like,
that
"Haha, you missed
every
me."
single time. Like, So we're gonna have to come back later to get that. Since we have activated the puzzle, these elevators are on a cycle, so we need to catch the proper cycle, so we don't have time to get the wall mouse right now.
And this is why this level sucks.
Yeah.
Because these cycles, you'd think they'd be consistent, wouldn't you? Think again. For some reason, they can just misalign for no
Yeah.
reason.
They seem to be
Yeah, and then
okay
you have
right
to wait.
now, but we are going up into the boss area, and we are still trying to make sure that the cycles line up even while we're doing this boss here.
Like, the first time you go up, they're usually fine, but... yeah, they could get worse. And if you miss a cycle, it's like 20 seconds down the drain at least.
No, I had the right cycles, but I bumped my head on one of those spikes. So I was trying to go from the boss to the collectible and then jump onto this elevator to get to the race. And I had the correct cycles, I just bonked my head on one of those stupid red spikes. So I have to wait a
Yeah.
little bit longer here, but that's okay.
That's always what's so annoying. But while we wait, can you show us Buzz's first-person view real quick?
Oh yeah. You get to see his reflection
does.
in the helmet.
I love that he has like one eye closed, like he's just aiming. Yeah, this is the dad mouse. You can tell he's the dad because he's wearing a top hat.
You want to talk about blackout glitch?
Blackout
yeah.
glitch. Well, first thing we'll say is that it won't happen because it's N64 exclusive.
Yeah, this is an N64 exclusive glitch that we're talking about, but
So, it can happen in a whole bunch of stages, I believe, but most notably here, you just arrive at the race, the entire stage goes to black. Thankfully, I believe it was Mooks who discovered how to avoid it. But it essentially makes this race, well, pain, because there's all the holes in the pipe, in the shaft, whatever it's called, and you'll almost certainly fall through one, and if you do, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Alright.
And it can also happen. It can also happen in the final room as well.
Funny thing is though, I don't
hey,
know
we
if you
got one
remember,
last second
Sam,
try. Let's go.
but, at the last
Yeah.
license that's on 2023, I actually ran the N64 version of this. I did the 100% category, and you were commentating, and I actually got
Was
the
that 2
blackout
years ago
glitch.
now?
Yeah, 2023.
Wow.
But I actually
I
got the
remember that.
blackout glitch, and I like attempted to fix it mid-run, like based on a theory I had on how to fix it, and it actually worked. So I like salvaged the run mid-run. It was pretty cool.
Nice. So as soon as you walk into this room, it will just go
Yeah.
pitch black. And the problem with
Yeah.
that is that you can still make it up, but ham deloads, so you can't actually
Interact with them.
finish the token off.
All right, we're done with elevator hop. We are now going to be doing our first revisit. We are going to be going back to alleys and goalies now that we have the grappling hook. I'm going to be getting 3 more tokens in this level.
You can technically do this level without the grappling hooks. There's a shadow box on the wall near here, but it's very, very precise.
It's
on
very hard, and
PC.
also for any percent, it is faster to do the revisit. It is faster to do the shadow box in 100% though.
because there's a whole bunch of collectibles that you need. And so you'd only visit the race area once instead of twice.
Okay, hopefully these zip lines don't mess me up too bad.
These
Very nice.
electricity cycles are consistent as well.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
those cycles are consistent. Grabbing the zip line isn't as consistent.
True. Especially when you have to jump between the two right there. That's the worst part.
Yeah. So now we're going
there's a
to
little-
the boss.
There's a little fun skip here where you go into visor mode and it just skips to the boss immediately for some reason. Saves
It's like every tiny time save we can get.
I think someone said it's because when you go into first person view, the camera goes inside of the boss zone and it thinks you're inside there already, so it just like
Oh,
warps buzz to
interesting.
him. Yeah. Like the camera moves inside there.
And then the rest of this level is pretty much just walking around getting coins. Yeah. So I think this is a good point to ask, chat. What is everyone's favourite of the Toy Story films?
I'm gonna say 2. And not just
I'm
because I
also
read the
going to say
game.
2.
My favorite has to
I know
be
it-
Toy Story 3.
But yeah, I like that one too.
But Toy 2 is probably my second place. This is a pretty difficult jump, umbrella jump, but we got it. Just a pretty precise extent double jump. Then collecting more coins, and then this should be all right out so that we have the perfect amount of coins.
Toy Story 5, yes. Yeah, we won't get into this whole debate on Toy 4 thermal, I think. TLDR, Toy 4 is good standalone.
Yeah.
End of conversation.
Toy Story 5 is coming out next summer, and I am a little bit excited for it. I'm a little bit skeptical, but I'm excited to see how it goes. So that is Alleys and Goalies. We are gonna go back over, and the next level is Al's Penthouse. We're only getting 3 tokens in this level. Getting the coin collectible tokens are pretty slow. But like we said earlier, we used to get those tokens in any percent in previous versions of the route.
As it turns out, Al is more than just the Woody's Roundup toys. He's also got snakes, got birds, gunslingers, bandits.
I would assume that those were also characters from Woody's Roundup, but we just never saw them in the movie because they weren't in the episode we watched.
One thing I have been doing
And there-
all throughout the run is something called buffer jumps, where if you hold down the button after you do a double jump, you'll get a jump the frame immediately after, and that really helps me to get that train jump there. So, been doing it all throughout the game, but just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, the way you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to push a block around the edge of the room, but there's this train that's constantly getting in your way. But you can just jump up to the bed like that. So,
It's so easy.
also, that box that Izzy just walked past as well, you're supposed to push around the whole apartment. And this is another shadow box. Jumping on this windowsill, get up to this table. You usually have to push the box into this room to be able to get up onto these platforms. And this is the only boss you can damage before even arriving at it.
Yeah, you shoot him preemptively, and then when you start the fight, he already has like a little chunk of damage.
You can't, though. It only works for the first hit, though, so you can't just shoot it constantly before even getting to the fight.
That would be very nice if you could do that. Alright, we are on to Zurg. You can only fight this... You can only do damage to Zurg by doing a spin attack. We're going to be dying in a corner here to try to get Zurg stuck in this corner.
Nice.
It is possible to do it without dying as well, it's just way more difficult.
And slower too, no?
Oh, I
think it's slower.
Because don't you have to wait for him to get around?
Nice, that was
Versus
a perfect
spawn.
Zurg. Alright.
Oh,
We are on to airport infiltration, and we're going to be doing a clip out of bounds with a suitcase on conveyor belt here.
Which is PC exclusive.
It is PC exclusive.
I'm assuming we're not going for YOLO.
No, not going for YOLO. Feel free to explain it, but I've never done YOLO.
So in the room where Izzy's gonna go right now. We'll wait till she gets the clip.
My camera was being pretty messy.
This clip isn't too bad. So yeah, this room Izzy's in now is the puzzle token room. We're trying to get to the top of, like, the shell of a plane. And the potato head part is there as well, his mouth. But in the room to the left is where Rocky is, Rocky Gibraltar. And that is the race token. And the race token actually does go into this room. And so for YOLO, you would do race and this token at the same time.
But you have like less than a second of wiggle room in order to get both the puzzle token and make it back for the race at the same time. So it's very difficult, and you have to do the puzzle token pretty much perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't save much, but it saves enough to make it, you know, RTA viable, shall we say.
Yeah.
And you know, it saves you having to go to that room twice.
Yeah, basically for like, if you're trying to get a top time, you kind of have to go for it.
Yeah. Because right here, we're collecting the 5th collectible. It would be at this point where we would start to climb the rocket and try to get the collectible token and then make it back here before we run out of time for the race.
Yeah, I've seen some of the top runners like Capri, Beast, and Solar do it with like 3 seconds to spare, which is crazy.
Dang, that's insane.
Yeah.
Any of y'all Mario fans probably know Beast for being one of the top 120 star runners nowadays.
This Potato Head said bouncy boots.
God.
These are clearly hover boots. I don't know what Mr. Potato Head's talking about.
Bouncy boots. Here's,
And we got Stinky Pete here.
Pete, or Prospector, as he likes to be called, but
We all call him Stinky Pete. You can also
That's
only be
no way
damaged
to
with
treat it
spinning,
well.
so we're just doing our spamming fire and spin to get as many spins on him, and then exit level.
That's no way to treat a collectible.
So we are going back to Al's Toy Barn now in order to get the last 3 tokens. Now that we have the hover boots. And the hover boots are only needed for 1 single collectible.
the baby chicken.
Toy Barn also has a 1 visit, but that involves multiple shadow jumps.
Yeah,
It's
you could technically do
insanely
this
hard.
on the shadow box jump on this level is really difficult on PC. So again, that's another, like, if you want a top time, you'll probably go for it, but otherwise it's not really necessary.
I think only a world record does it.
Yeah.
Solar.
The race
Yeah,
token
it
in
is
this level...
purely just,
Yeah.
so it's purely just to get that first chick, is all it is for.
The race token in this level is a little bit weird. The first time we trigger the race only gives us a collectible and also gives us a lot more time. So during this first time we're doing the race, we're going to be doing a detour to get a bunch of these coins and also a potato head part to unlock a power-up.
It's really lenient on time, the first one. The second one's a little tighter, but it's still, you can easily make it,
Yeah.
even with messing up a little.
Alright, and we are about to get probably my favorite power-up of the game, the rocket boots.
Seeing these used a fair bit throughout the rest of the run. Nice. So you're supposed to use that hay bale where the race challenge race token ends to get launched over to where that chick was. But with the rocket boots, you can jump over there instead.
We also use the rocket boots to go through that vent, and this whole section that we're doing, we actually are entering from the exit, so we're doing this whole part backwards, which is a lot faster.
Yeah, it avoids having to push those boxes and stuff to get to the little chick.
There's for some reason slime on the floor here. They should really clear up this toy barn.
I don't think it's safe for kids.
To be fair, they
No.
did put those cones up. You can see the cones there.
True, yeah. But what about the other end? Are there cones?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, there's basketballs and hula hoops.
There are cones, yeah.
So we are now going to go talk to Ham again. This time not for text storage, but instead to actually, collect the coin token, which is what he's supposed to be used for. And there are
He's
3
extra
coins in
useful.
here, so yeah, he's extra useful. Of course, sometimes that enemy can just hit you right after you do a ledge grab, which is really annoying. So we got coin
Let's go,
token.
guys.
We got one more token we gotta get and do the race one more time. Now the race token spawns.
Yeah, as you can see, the timer, the first, I believe it was like 45, 50 seconds. Now it's only 25 seconds.
It's still more than enough time for us to get to the end. All right. Speaking of race
Justice for
tokens,
Al.
we're going to go all the way back to Andy's neighborhood now that we have the rocket boots. It is possible to get this token without the rocket boots. It's just slightly faster on PC. And like we said earlier, you can't actually do it the first time on other platforms.
And you don't have to like walk all the way around the track. Okay, this race does have some checkpoints, but it's just around the tree and this cone. So you can like walk across the track and everything. You don't have to follow it around perfectly. And this race is possible to win without the rocket boots, but on PC it's faster because of the loadless timing. It's actually kind of difficult to win this race without them.
Yeah, you kind of have to have
Yeah.
like RC kind of knock into the back of you and like prevent him from moving forward.
It's a fun way to cheese it. You can do that technically too in the first level, but
Yeah.
doing the speedrun strat is way faster.
All right, we are on to the final final platforming level before the final boss. This level we're going to be using text storage again because the race token requires us to race around in that goop without taking damage and without jumping, otherwise the token will despawn. But we're actually going to be using text storage to delay the start of the race. And we're also going to be doing a rocket boot skip here, or attempting it.
Yeah, I wasn't in the Toy 2 community when the skip was discovered, but from what I've heard, this was massive.
Whew, that was a little bit sketchy, but
nice.
managed to make it up there to save a little bit of time waiting for that airplane. Gonna be getting text storage on this boss here.
The race skip text storage saves around 45 seconds. So it's a huge time save.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because when text storage was found, this trick to skip the race was found by Lance again. There is a second skip you can do. You can do like double text storage immediately.
Oh, I'm
after
doing
with
that.
the race
I'm doing
token.
that.
And yeah, I think
Okay,
Izzy
cool.
goes for the double. 'Cause there's a
And that
puzzle.
one-
Yeah, the puzzle in this stage is a bit confusing, so to speak. And it's slightly RNG too.
The puzzle skip though, that was already found by Lance as like a theory using like cheats. They were able to get text storage with this race token and then skip the puzzle. But then once we found out how to actually do text storage, like RTA, then they were able to find the race token along with it. So the double text storage here is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I delayed the start of the race to collect the token, and I got text storage again on the first token, and then once again we are going to launch up into the air to grab the puzzle token here, and that is the double text storage for Tarmac Trouble, and we only have one more level left for Toy 2, the final showdown.
On the screen it says Final Showdown, but on the loading card it says Prospector Showdown because that's
No
what
one
it's
knows
called
what
in all
level,
other
what this
versions.
is called. And this
Yeah,
is just
it
3
was.
bosses that we've fought before, the Gunslinger, Blacksmith, and Stinky Pete. So, very
wanna be
original
trying
boss
to-
fight here.
Just want to be trying to like hit them kind of all at the same time Because they all have like portions where they're invincible. So if you just keep cycling around them, you'll like always be doing damage.
Yeah.
And also, the way the puzzle.
Go ahead.
The way that you're supposed to do the puzzle in Tarmac is by matching a series of lights. By pressing buttons, it's still pretty confusing. Even if you understand how it works, it's a little confusing.
Right.
But thankfully, you can skip it. And now we're on to Toy Story 3.
Let's go. All right.
Also, I'm
It
kind of
was so
sad that
clean.
I'm kind of sad that you skipped the Cursed Woody face.
Oh.
Well, that's on N64.
I mean, he still looks pretty jank on this version, on that version too.
All right.
And I believe Izzy has a lot of nostalgia for this game.
Yes, this was one of the first games I ever played. I got this game for Christmas 2012, and it was the first game I ever completed. This was also my first ever speed game. I started speedrunning almost 7 years ago at this point. Crazy how much time flies by. And this game actually just recently turned 15 years old. Does that make all of you feel old in chat? Yeah, this game is very special to me.
I've had some advice from Thurman in chat saying, be sure to hold forward here, Izzy.
Yes, so holding forward in this bullseye section saves 1 second. That was not actually known for like several years, and like 4 years into me running it, because I never held forward in this level. And then one day, and I was always getting like 1 second slower times than everyone else. I was confused why. And then I held forward one day, and oh, turns out that saves a second. Good to know, I guess.
Yeah, when you say it wasn't known by you.
Well, no one knew that it saved a second. Like, it's just everyone else was just holding forward by instinct. All right. So now we are on the train. The fastest way to move in this game is dashing. Got the knockback skip there. That's a very hard skip. That pretty imprecise. Gonna try to do a cutscene skip here. Very nice.
Jumping around the trigger for it.
Nice.
There's a way to skip this orphan here, but it's incredibly difficult and not marathon safe at all. Another thing about dashing in this game is that Woody loves to lock onto different enemies or the orphans. Like, you can like be holding completely forward, but there's something slightly to your left, and Woody will just lock on and dash to the left, which is quite annoying. So gotta be a little bit careful of that.
The Toy 3 game as a whole is definitely a lot more accurate to the original film than the Toy 2 game. I think Toy 1 might be the most accurate though.
Yeah, it has probably the most moments. There are quite a few moments from the movie that are skipped in this version of Toy 3. There is a PS2 and PSP version of Toy 3, which is completely different, made by a different developer. And there's also a DS version, which is also different, but that's kind of standard for DS games. So just getting as many dashes as we can throughout here, because dashing is fastest. You also don't want to spam the dash button. You want to kind of rhythmically time it, because that ends up making your dashes faster.
So yeah, we just gotta we defeat Mr. Evil Dr. Porkchop.
And we're going to exit level here to save a little bit of that cutscene, and did not exit early this time, thankfully. We are now onto Andy's house.
So now we just need to find Andy's cell phone. Then when we call him,
Yeah, you were at it was at the last marathon you were at like a few weeks ago where you accidentally quit out early, so I had to go through a completed game file essentially.
Yeah, for the whole run. Yeah, I've
Shout
kind
out
of
to
missed my
Lady
audio.
Arcaders.
Yeah. Alright, so that first part of the level, very, very quick and easy. Just have to get up on top of the shelf and get the cell phone. Here is the first time we're going to be doing something called infinite wall jumps. So you can wall jump in this game. And then if you pause the game and then unpause it, you'll magnetize back to the wall, and that's going to be used all throughout the run. We're going to use that just to climb this washing machine at the beginning here,
Thanks, Sarge.
if the camera would cooperate. So, first infinite wall jump there. And then we have these 4 army men that we have to fly over to the home phone over here in order to complete the level.
This version you're running is the PC version, right?
Yes, this is the PC version, which is based on the Wii version. So if you're wondering why the graphics look so weird, it's because they decided, you know what, PCs back then weren't powerful enough, like the 360 or PS3. So we're gonna make the graphics based on the Wii version. So this game looks a lot better on 360 and PS3. The light, it actually has like lighting and shading.
Another thing it has too is a better toy box mode.
Yes, so one thing this game was kind of famous for when it came out was the toy box mode, which is kind of just the scene box in like a western town where you can do a bunch of missions and customize your town. And it's a billion times better on the console version. On PC and Wii, it's pretty bare bones in comparison.
Wasn't it actually the prototype for Disney Infinity?
Yes, so this game, Toy Story 3, especially the toy box mode, was actually kind of their inspiration for making Disney Infinity. So the playsets in that game were heavily based off of the toy box. So made by the same developer. So this is kind of the precursor to Disney Infinity. We're now on to Buzz Video Game, which, if you remember from the movies, this was a scene in the second movie, but they put it in the third game for some reason. And this is a giant auto-scroller.
The first section is anyway. Yeah, stay hydrated, everybody.
And stay hydrated. If we have any donations or any blurbs you would like to read, now would be a great time. We got like 2.5 minutes of just flying here.
Sure, I can fill air for 2.5 minutes, but I can also read it, do an ad read. I just want to remind everyone that we are raising money for the Transgender Law Center this weekend. Not only do they support the queer community through pro bono volunteer work and legal resources, but they're also at work in court, protecting the rights and lives of LGBTQIA+ Americans. Right now, they are arguing cases in the areas of healthcare, immigration, prisons, and policing of queer bodies. Thank you for helping them help us help them fight for our rights. And I actually don't have any donations to read. So I'll throw it back to you. This run has been a blast so far. This is my favorite scene from this movie, by the way.
Yeah, this scene from Toy 2 is amazing. Such a good opening for the film. And I'm glad that they made it into a video game form that you can play.
As a kid, I remember thinking, oh, this opening scene where he's fighting Zurg, wow, first of all, wow, it's like Star Wars Oblivious. Second, I remember thinking, oh, this would be so cool as a video game. Also oblivious to the fact that they had already made a video game for Toy Story, and that it played exactly like I wanted it to.
Well, I also say, why couldn't the film Lightyear be based off this game?
I know, right? So, Lightyear, it's an okay movie, but it's very much not based on the Toy Story lore. That's like at the beginning of the movie, it says this is the movie that Andy saw. No, it wasn't. That's a completely different Buzz Lightyear. Like, that's just a different universe version of that story. That's not... It's just not the same Buzz.
Yeah, because if you think about it, he would have had to have been his father if it was the real one from the movies, because that's literally Zurg's line in Toy Story 2. But in the Lightyear movie, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but that's not his dad.
Lightyear
in broke their own canon there.
In contention for my least favorite Pixar film, honestly.
It has its moments, but yeah.
It has good parts, but like I said, it's not the movie we're hoping for when it was announced. True. It's very much its own thing.
So I don't really remember, but are you like actually playing through like the game that they're playing in Toy Story 2, or what's the point of this in the?
Yeah, so
what is this section?
Once we're done with Andy's house, there's a cutscene that we skipped where Rex is actually down here in the basement So technically we're playing as Rex, who is playing the video game, who is playing as Buzz.
Right.
He wants to beat it one more time before they get potentially put in the attic or thrown away.
Or go
It's
to
like, just do
daycare,
it
exactly.
Yeah. And Buzz is just saying to just do it quickly.
Yeah.
Just speedrun.
So-
So Rex is
yeah.
speedrunning.
Rex is canonically speedrunning Buzz video game right now.
That's
Confirmed.
crazy. He would be a speedrunner.
Oh, he absolutely would. So coming up here, we're going to be trying to do a crystal skip. So we can use our laser to laser these crystals, and if we time our dashes just correctly, we can actually get into the thing that'll launch us up during the cutscene that will play. So we'll try to do that here.
I'd also just like to say, this level is... How many levels are there in this game? 8,
There are 8
9
levels.
This level alone is a third of the run.
Yeah, this is by far the longest level in the run. Probably the second longest level casually. The longest level casually we absolutely obliterate with skips later on.
Which level is that? Junkyard?
Bonnie's house.
Oh, of course. Yes.
So here we're going to be trying to do another laser skip where we have 2 different like rock platforms that we have to ground pound before the thing will launch us up in the air. So we are actually going to be lasering this and then ground pounding as it explodes, and that will overlap a couple of cutscenes. Very
So
nice.
if you're wondering what all these like cards are about, they're just random collectibles that are required for 100%.
Yeah, so those don't
yeah.
really do anything. They like unlock stuff in like toy box mode a little bit, I believe, but they are only required for the 100% category.
The amount of times I've seen like you, Thermal, finish a 100% run, and they realise you've forgotten a card.
Yeah,
Painful.
quite difficult. So this final section over here, we're supposed to ground pound like 5 or 6 of these platforms. It's very slow, so instead we're going to be using infinite wall jumps instead. So we're just going to completely skip this entire island here. And we're going to be jumping off the edge here, avoiding some death triggers. Very nice. And then we are going to be infinite wall jumping up this invisible wall to get on the other side here where the end of this section of the level is at.
So now Buzz is flying, right?
Yeah, this is
Or is-
Buzz flying.
And then he's about to be falling with style.
Now he's falling with
momentarily.
style. Awesome. All right, now we are into Zerg's Fortress. This is probably the most challenging part of this level. Lots of places you can bonk. It's very easy to bonk, so we got to be pretty careful. And there's not many skips in this section. It's just kind of a gauntlet that we have to go through.
There's a few.
There's a few
flashy
small
lights.
skips.
There's a few
Oh, yeah.
flashy light parts as well. Just people are warned. There's one way worse coming up at the end of the run though.
Yeah,
But
warn you
we'll
about that
definitely
later.
warn you for that. Don't worry.
So now we got these top-down tunnels that we're going to go into.
It's also odd because on the console version of Toy 3, the flashing lights in the last level are way less intense.
Yeah. Got the
On
spacing
PC,
that
they're
we can just skip
extremely
all of the ledge shimmying by just jumping up there. Another top-down section. And then we're going to be doing a minor cutscene skip here, so if we get to the end of the tunnel and wait until the spikes are just about to go through, that will skip a cutscene. So we're going to wait here, and then dash through to skip a cutscene. We're also going to be dashing on these colored buttons here.
Those buttons are, as soon as you step on one, all of the same color, then fall away.
And try to do a minor skip here. Very nice. That skip requires precise timing, as Buzz just said.
I love how they like utilize his glow in the dark suit. for
I
this
know, it's
section.
really cool. This section looks beautiful on the console version. Like, it's gorgeous. This game is actually very, very graphically amazing on 360 and PS3. And it is actually
on
backwards
the-
compatible on Xbox One and Series X, so you can play the best version of this game on Xbox, on modern consoles. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, do you own that version?
I do. I have played it before.
Izzy is quite the collector of the Pixar games and just consoles in general. Like,
Yeah.
how many PS2s, Xboxes do you have?
I have like 13 original Xboxes, like 4 PS2s. I have like 60 something consoles in total. And
God.
I love Pixar. I've been a Pixar fangirl all of my life. I've seen every Pixar film in theaters since Toy Story 3. So Toy Story 3 was actually the first movie I saw in theaters, or the first Pixar film I saw in theaters. And I've seen everyone since.
You
So
mentioned the Pixar game marathon you did. what was it,
oh yeah,
last year?
a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago at this point, I did a 24-hour marathon where I played through all 18 like main tie-in Pixar games in a marathon, which was very fun. I was very tired by the end, but it was very fun.
We'll have a look at what when it was exactly. Do
13
You saw
Xboxes.
Elio already, right?
Yes, Elio, I really enjoyed it. I know some people are finding it kind of mid. I personally really enjoyed it, but then again, I enjoy every Pixar film, so yeah. So here we're going to be trying to do something called one cycle. So we're supposed to laser Zerg once, and then he'll kind of drop down. But instead, we can just time our lasers perfectly, and then there.
That skips like a cycle, right?
Yeah, that skips both cycles, so it's very easy to do 2 cycle, but it's a bit harder to do 1 cycle. So the next level, we are in Sunnyside Daycare. Fun fact about this level, we used to play on a language other than English because it would skip this. What? Okay, my files are not set up correctly. Give me one moment. So yeah, basically, we used to play that level in a different language because it would skip that unskippable dialogue. Randomly, a couple of years ago, they actually patched the game so that the other language had dialogue in them, and it kind of broke the speedrun for a bit. But nowadays we allow modification of the game's files in order to get the dialogue back. And for some reason, my files were not modified, so I need to do that. Sorry about this. I did not realize that file got replaced.
That's all right. I would have brought you off air, but you kept commentating why. Interesting context for why we have to make this adjustment.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
back in the
Izzy's-
day, we would play just a random patch for a Toy Story game 14 years later or something like that. Like,
That's
who would have
so
thought?
goofy. And
Yeah.
just so I can get clarity on this for myself and for the stream, you want for the dialogue files to be present or to be missing?
You want them to be missing. So back in
Okay.
the day, the English version had dialogue, but like most of
Right.
the other languages, the dialogue files just weren't there. So we would actually play without any dialogue.
I guess it's
but then they
great for
came
you
back.
and terrible if you speak Spanish or something, you know?
Yeah.
So the game's allowed it to be slightly modded to remove the files that wouldn't normally
Yeah.
be there.
So
or never
since,
used to be
since
there.
that patch
That makes sense.
came out to keep integrity with previous runs, we actually allowed deleting some of the dialogue files that save time. So you'll hear we have dialogue, but all the dialogue that ends up saving time actually have been removed. Just because it's more of a quality of life thing and it doesn't affect the run in any other meaningful way.
Is it just this level?
This level, and then also a little bit in Haunted Bakery. It saves a tiny bit of time.
Also found Pixel Marathons on the 7th of October 2023. So yeah, every single Pixar movie tie-in game at the time. So starting with Toy 2 and ending with Toy 3 actually, as that was your first.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
so
long did
this
it take
level,
you?
it took me like 23 hours, I think.
That's a lot of games.
Yep. Don't worry, I did take breaks in between. I did have like lunch and stuff, but
That
was a lot of
lunch
fun.
percent, stay awake percent
yeah.
is on this
So,
schedule as well.
If you want to
don't
see
know,
me run more Pixar games, be sure to follow me. I have ran and will run more Pixar games in the future. There are like more spin-off Pixar games that I haven't quite learned yet that I'm very interested in learning in the future, so be sure to stop by. This level, we just have to complete 3 of the mini games, and we did a balloon popping mini game and a teeny racer mini game. This final one, we have to get. The game tells us we need 50 aliens to beat it, but we actually only need 47. Don't ask why. We don't know why. It's just a thing. So we're actually going to purposely let a couple aliens go by, because once 3 aliens go by, then the game will fail. But if we have all the aliens that we need, then it'll actually let us complete the level. So we have 47.
It's very, very rare, but I've seen it happen once where an alien just gets stuck and the game soft locks.
All right, we
Also,
are on to Bonnie's house now.
I have the link to Izzy's schedule. I doubt links are allowed, but if I DM it to you, Tempe, could you maybe post it?
That was
I doubt links. are allowed,
that
but
was
sure.
like years ago though, so I do have a
But you can
VOD
see
on
what
my
games.
Twitch channel. Yeah.
You're, you're correct. I have, in fact, blocked links on this server, so thank you. I will post that myself.
So we are going to be
just-
using infinite wall jumps here to absolutely destroy this level. There is also a very hard strat I'm going to go for called invis platforms, where usually we're supposed to infinite wall jump. Kind of the more beginner route is you would infinite wall jump a little bit higher than I'm going to, and that would actually visually spawn in some platforms that you would have to jump on. But the top level strat is to just jump on them while they're still invisible, but still have collision. So hopefully this goes well.
I wasn't expecting to see Woody just same side wall jumping like Samus.
We just
Yeah,
go
this is
up and up
this
and
is
up
like
and
the
up.
first this is like the first skip that I saw in the game that was like, whoa, I didn't realize this game was broken like that. Pretty awesome.
That is super cool.
It's pretty hard to jump on that platform. I'm going to try it one more time this way. And if you die, you have to swim in coffee.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is it chocolate milk or coffee?
No, this is coffee.
It's coffee.
I'm not gonna lie, this level casually was a little difficult for me.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I was stuck on this level for probably several weeks, if not months, casually. Just slowly trying to chip away at it.
Yeah, obviously the game thought the floor is lava was a bit, or the devs thought the floor is lava was a bit too dark, so they made it the floor is coffee. Maybe they were just tired, and that's all they had in their mind.
Yeah, they're just craving coffee.
Ah, just barely made it.
Dang.
Or barely missed it. Alright, you know what, I'll do this the normal way now. You basically saw what I was trying to do. I just missed the final platform, then you would infinite wall jump up to those plates at the end. But I guess this also shows off kind of what more of a beginner runner would do. So you would come over here, and this was the route for the longest time. That route I was doing is actually a bit of a newer route that came out. So infinite wall jump up here.
Who found that? Was it Capri or?
Capri or Rai found the new route. That new route actually was originally found for 100% because it was a faster way to get a couple of cards. But then it was adapted for any percent because it was found that it was faster.
Interesting.
Alright, I actually am going to have to love you and leave you all because I have to go eat dinner. But
Sounds good.
good luck with the rest run, Izzy, and I'll be back later to do my own run of Muppets. But yeah, thanks for having me on comms. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so
And,
much for joining.
Enjoy the rest. You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of the run, folks. I will see y'all in a few hours.
Take care, Sam.
See ya.
All right, so we have jumped all the way up here, and these were the invisible platforms that I was trying to jump on. So as you can imagine, they're quite hard to jump on when you kind of have to memorize where they're at. And infinite wall jump up this basket here.
Especially when the camera locks like that and Woody is getting further and further away. It's
Yeah,
like
the
harder to
camera
tell where you're
locks off, and
landing.
then so it takes a lot of memorization and a lot of other visual cues that you have to use other than the platforms. So that was the first half. Now we're in outer space because, of course, we are. And this part is also very broken. We are going to be purposely taking a couple of damage here because we are going to be doing a death abuse. So we're going to be infinite wall jumping up to the top of this rocket here. And then we're going to be jumping on this red rail here, and that's going to actually play a cutscene that will actually get rid of a death trigger about halfway through the rocket. And we need to get rid of that death trigger because we are going to die here, and then we're going to clip through the rocket.
I never realized that's why you take the damage here. I didn't realize it's to get rid of the trigger.
Yeah, so if you were to do this clip that we're about to do without spawning that cutscene, you would die right about here. But instead, we can just do a couple ground pounds through the rocket. And we were supposed to spawn up here, but thankfully there's a cutscene up here.
Interesting.
And then this entire part is broken, so we're supposed to put a bunch of batteries in, but because we skipped all the way to the end, we only need to put the last battery in.
And the game just thinks that you put the other ones in already?
Yep. And then we have to do one last different wall jump. There is a bridge that would spawn there, but again, we're crazy, so we gotta help the game out a little bit. Alright, this is Prison Break. This is probably the fastest level. The beginning of the level here is a bit of on a cycle, but skipped a massive cutscene there by infinite wall jumping. We have to save Rex, Ham, and Slinky. We're supposed to save Jessie by hitting that button there, but we're actually going to save her in a slightly different way. So we're going to push this button to free Rex there.
I might be misremembering, but that first gate you jumped over, aren't you able to clip through it too? Like
Yes, you
dashing
can clip
into
through it by dashing, but it's a lot harder. Jessie's supposed to be the only person who can save Rex there, so she just kind of warps out of her cage. And then we are going to be pull string here, and then we're going to be jumping around these flashlights, and we got just the perfect cycle to get to the end there. Perfect. Can bonk on an invisible wall there, which is a bit annoying.
Slink, you're free to go. Meet at the castle, but watch out for Buzz.
You got it, partner.
Then we have one more that we have to do. We used to do this section as Jessie, but we found out that you can actually wall jump on this little lip in the wall here. So you can just wall jump there, hit the button, then die just to respawn a little bit faster. And that is the end of Prison Break. So if you watch any percent runs of this game, usually we would actually close the game after completing Prison Break, and then go into Junkyard after restarting the game. The reason we usually do that is because there is a death plane that glitches out and gets lower than it's supposed to be, and we're going to be doing a death there. So usually we would respawn the game and it would make a 20-second death. Usually it's like a 20-second death without restarting the game, but it's like instant when you restart the game. But we actually restarted the game earlier in Sunnyside, so that counts as restarting the game. So this section's
so
pretty... Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, so what level is the earliest you could reset for that death plane to get reset?
So anytime after Buzz video game, because the death plane in Buzz video game is quite a bit lower than all the other levels, and the death plane will always lower, but if it's supposed to go back up, it won't go back up. It'll actually lower slightly lower anyways, so it's just like a weird programming blip. We actually didn't know for a long time why that was the case. We just knew that the death was long and sometimes it was short, and we discovered if restarting the game, it'll reset it back to where it's supposed to be. So this section, we just had to wait for the box to open and then get the 3 aliens in there. This level's also quite broken. This level's supposed to be kind of the ultimate like co-op challenge where we use all 3 characters and all their abilities to save Ham, Slinky, and Rex once again from all the shredders and fires and stuff. But we're actually going to be doing quite a few out of bounds here. So everyone's supposed to have their own section, but we're actually going to be going into Buzz's section with both Woody and Jesse here. So we're going to be jumping over here, skip a pull string here, do a wall jump to skip that steam. And this doesn't actually require a infinite wall jump. You can just kind of jump and grab this ledge, go out of bounds here, and now we are in Buzz's section. Going to grab this first cube. So these crushers would usually be active, but we're here early, so we can put these cubes in without worrying. Gonna put this second cube in just slightly and not quite trigger it yet. Then we're going to be doing Jesse's section, where we're also going to be going into Buzz's section by doing a wall jump here.
I didn't realize that you're going into Buzz's section with both of them. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, Buzz is like, you go here and we go here. Like, nah. So there, we jumped on the fire, and then I switched to Woody really quickly to put the second cube in to overlap those 2 cutscenes. So, and you have to do the fire first and then the cubes, otherwise it won't work properly. So now we have to die to reset everyone. So that death would usually be 20 seconds unless you restart the game, which we do in full game runs. Then I'm gonna hit that button through this team just by dashing. And then we have to use all 3 characters, and we are switching between characters so that we never have a dull moment. We always have something to do. This is all routed out pretty precisely. In this final part, we have to open a couple of doors and then throw a cube in to stop the shredder from working. And we're going to be doing a cutscene skip here by jumping from that third part to the ledge. That's fire jump. It's a bit harder than it looks. Do one last infinite wall jump for the game, and then we're going to activate that to open the first door. We're going to grab the cube and we're going to position it, and then we're going to do another cutscene overlap where we're going to switch to Woody, and then we're going to switch back to Buzz and throw the cube, and then the cube will go in during the cutscene. It'll kind of get tossed in by the door and complete the end of the level.
I've seen you do this level a million times, but I never knew exactly how it worked until you explained it right now.
Yeah. All right, so big flashing lights warning for this final level. There's a lot of flashing lights when we're in the turret section, so just a warning there. But this is the final boss fight where we need to defeat all the muffins and then defeat the witch boss. So this first part's pretty simple. Just have to hit all the muffins.
since we're almost done with this, which game would you say is probably the hardest one out of the three for you?
Toy 1 is definitely the hardest. Casually and speedrun-wise, it's probably the hardest to learn. Toy 2 and Toy 3, they're both difficult in their own ways. They're easy runs to learn, I would say, but they're like easy to learn, hard to master type of games, speedrun-wise.
And then this one's probably your favorite one to run since it's like your first speed run. The most,
Yeah,
one you put
I
the
mean,
most time into.
It kind of depends on the day. Like Toy 2 is a really fun run, so it's kind of between Toy 2 and 3. But I kind of come back to Toy 3 just because of nostalgia.
Right. Have you actually done toy box runs? I'm not sure if you have.
I haven't actually done any like submitted toy box runs. All right,
Okay.
so here we have to hit all of the witches, and there's a crosshair that's supposed to spawn, but very rarely it doesn't spawn like here, so it makes it a little bit harder to do this section. Managed to get it okay. So that's the turret section.
That's the flashing light section.
Yeah, that's the flashing lights. And then for this next section, we have to use a cow launcher. We're supposed to hit the big laser witch once, and then she'll fly around a little bit, and then you'll hit them again. But you can actually hit it on that tall building there and just like keep her locked in place. And then we have to collect more ammo to spawn the next phase. The next phase is going to spawn, and then we're actually going to die. And what that's going to do is that's going to make the next phase automatically complete after 26 seconds. But whatever the health bar is at, once that automatically completes, that health bar will transfer over to the next phase. So it both makes this part a lot more consistent, because this phase could take, before that was found, this phase could take a long time and could be like very inconsistent, kind of be a run killer. But it both makes that part consistent, and also means that we have to do less hits on this section. So I believe we're only gonna have to do 2 hits on this boss here. So 1 and 2, and the phase automatically completes, and time is coming up very soon. We have 1 more that we have to do. We're supposed to do both parts here, but instead we're going to just keep her locked in place and keep hitting the big witch here. And time! Alright. That was Toy 3. I tried to explain it. There's a lot going on in that final level, so hopefully I explained it well. But that is Toy Story Trilogy. We played all 3 games back to back. This was a ton of fun. I absolutely love playing Trilogy and showing this off at marathons. So thank you so much for having me, and hope everyone enjoyed the run.
Yeah, absolutely. What a first run. Thank you so much.
So yeah,
I like that it was the
sorry, go ahead.
opening. I was just gonna say I love that it was the opening for the marathon. It was really fun to be here too. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the event, how that's gonna go.
yeah, I'm so excited for the rest of this marathon. If you want to check me out, I'm IzzyHope58. You can find me on Twitch. I speedrun a bunch of movie license games. I'm currently running Madagascar, and I just run a whole bunch of movie license games. Spaghetti, where can people find you?
Same thing here on Twitch at Spaghetti, and I'm actually going to be running Chicken Little on Sunday for License-a-thon, so that's going to be really fun. But I also run a lot of 3D platformers and retro games, a few licensed games in there as well.
So yeah, and then Sam, who was here earlier, who had to leave early, you can find them at Sam37RTL. They run a bunch of stuff. They're also going to be here later running Muppet Race Mania, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, I think that's all the shoutouts out of the way.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to go back to our setup page. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Bye.